Your Google Ads account is probably broken. Not because your ads are bad, but because you're advertising to people who already know you exist. That should never be your main focus, because new customer acquisition is where the growth is. I'm Jackson Blackledge, founder of Echelonn. We run Google Ads for e-commerce brands. At the moment, we're managing just above 15 million a month as of Feb 2026. And I'm going to show you exactly how to structure Google Ads to acquire new customers profitably. How to make Google Ads an acquisition channel so you're not just fucking relying on Meta. Here's the problem with most Google Ad accounts. Retargeting and branded campaigns, easy wins. Low cost per click, high conversion rates. Google fucking loves them because they perform well on paper. So your account just gets addicted to easy traffic. Your prospecting campaigns barely spend because Google's algorithm just pushes budget towards the campaigns that convert the cheapest. So this is especially true with Performance Max. PMAX automatically seeks the cheapest conversions, which are almost always branded searches. If you haven't excluded brand terms from Performance Max, it's going to take the easy route every time. So that means you're advertising to the same circle of people on the internet that already know you exist. I'm going to show you a real example. So we took over this brand's Google Ads, and on the account overall, they had a ROAS at 7.52. And for this specific campaign, they had a 6.28. So across the board for a campaign like this, it looks great, right? It's great ROAS. But if you go into insights and reports, like I'm here, go into your search terms, you'll find what's actually happening on a search term level. And it was all branded. Now, if we sort by cost, what you can see is these branded terms have huge ROAS. You can obviously see that these numbers were skewing their data. The blended ROAS was, if you remember, was around 6.3. And then these individual search terms themselves were driving insane ROAS. This highlights the core disadvantage. It just inflates your prospecting, makes you think you're finding new customers, making you think the ad account's doing great with acquisition of new customers when you're not. You're basically paying premium PMAX rates for people who are already going to buy. Second, it drives up CPCs on your brand terms tremendously, because when branded searches get picked up by campaigns built for prospecting with higher TROAS targets and bidding strategies designed for non-branded traffic, Google applies those sort of aggressive bids to cheat branded clicks. So we've seen branded CPCs sitting at $6 plus, even sometimes $10 fucking dollars, when they should be less than $1. Honestly, they should be like 30, 40 cents. Thirdly, it prevents you from scaling because you can't see real prospecting performance data. And here's exactly how we fixed it for this brand. We completely rebuilt the account structure and built something we call the prospecting stack. This is the framework we use for every client, multiple campaign types working together to find new customers organized in a specific structure. So here's the stack at a glance. Shopping and PMAX prospecting, search prospecting, and demand generation, which is YouTube and Discover campaigns. Each campaign type reaches people in different sort of mindset and a different part of the customer journey at a different stage of that buying journey. Together, they create this stack where new customers can discover you no matter how they're obviously searching or browsing. Let's start with the backbone of the account, which is your shopping campaigns. If you sell physical products online, this is where most of your revenue is going to come from. When someone searches best collagen powder or men's running shoes, your product shows up with an image, a price, a title right at the top of Google. That's shopping. Ideally, you got things such as your delivery there, product reviews, the stars, maybe a GMC promotion. There are a few main campaign types for shopping ads. First one, Performance Max or PMAX. This is Google's AI-powered campaign. It can show across Google's entire inventory from search all the way to fucking maps. Think of it as shopping on fucking steroids. Google takes your product feed from the GMC. That's why the Google Merchant Center is so fucking important. If you haven't even checked the GMC in the past fucking month, you need to wake the fuck up. Google takes that product feed and shows your products across search, shopping, YouTube, Gmail, Discover, and display. It figures out who to show your ads to and how much to fucking bid. Powerful, but there is a catch. If you leave it with Google's default settings, PMAX, I'm telling you, will take the path of least resistance. Basically, it'll find the fucking cheapest conversions it can, and the cheapest conversions are almost always people searching for your brand name. They were going to buy anyways. PMAX just claims the credit and charges you for it at the end of the day. Often at a 3 to 10 times the cost per click you should be paying for branded traffic, but PMAX doesn't catch every non-branded search. And here's the problem. So if those leftover searches have nowhere to fucking go, they may end up triggering your brand campaign. That's why we had a standard shopping wall campaign. Easiest way to think about it is like a filter in a funnel. Google processes shopping campaigns in a specific order based on a priority setting you control. Your PMAX prospecting campaign sits at the top and handles the bulk of non-branded traffic. The wall campaign sits in the middle, and the brand campaign sits at the bottom. When someone searches for something that isn't your brand name, Google checks the top priority campaign first, your PMAX. If PMAX doesn't pick it up, Google checks the middle, which is your wall campaign, because the wall also has brand terms excluded. It catches that remaining non non-branded traffic because it never reaches your brand campaign. But shopping only works when someone's search triggers a product listing from your feed within the GMC. What about all the searches where people are typing in questions, comparing options, or researching solutions that your product could be the answer? That's where the next layer comes in. Search prospecting. These are the text-based ads you see on Google's results page. The difference between search and shopping is just intent clarity. Shopping is driven by your product feed within the Google Merchant Center. Google matches your products to searches automatically. Search campaigns give you direct control over exactly which words and phrases trigger your ads. So for prospecting, there are two levels of keywords you want to go after, and most brands only think about one of them. The first level is solution-aware keywords. What the fuck are they, Jackson? You might be asking, right? Basically, these are searches from people who know what kind of product they want, but they haven't decided which brand to buy. So let's say someone searches the best tasting protein powder or collagen supplements for skin. They're actively comparing options. They don't have one brand they're going to shop there. They're looking for options. And then let's say they've searched these things and your ad shows up. They click, and if your landing page does its job, you win the sale. They're going to shop with you. But there's a second level that's just as powerful and far less competitive. Okay, another big word for you. Informational and top of funnel keywords. So these are the searches people make before they even know they want to buy something. Things like benefits of creatine, or maybe how to improve skin elasticity, or does grounding sheets actually work? These people are fucking researching. They're not shopping. They're in that research mode, but they have a genuine interest in the problem that your product could potentially solve. So if you're selling grounding sheets, you could somehow make a blog article about the benefits of grounding sheets. Then they read that, and then there's CTAs at the bottom, and they might fucking buy from you. This is the sort of mindset. Same thing, benefit of collagen. You would create a blog for your collagen product, and then you run ads to that blog that are people searching what are the benefits of collagen. It's like an informational page about what are the benefits, and there's CTAs, and they might buy. This is what I'm fucking trying to get across. So they've got that genuine interest in the problem that your product could solve. And the CPCs, guys, here are dramatically cheaper because most of your competitors are not fucking bidding on them. And this is where comparison pages and advertorial style landing pages come in. Here at Echelonn, we have an in-house landing page team just for this shit. It's included in our fee for management for clients, and our clients work one-on-one with our senior strategist on this. And at the end of the day, the landing pages we create for clients, it's theirs to keep. They want to use it on Meta or whatever, it's theirs. And this really pushes the ad spend, and this unlocks a new prospecting audience. Instead of sending someone who searches best grounding sheets 2026 to your product page, you can send them to an independent article that ranks the top 5 options with your product positioned as number 1. We've seen this fucking approach cut average CPCs by nearly 3x, guys, while starting conversions immediately, because the landing page builds trust and does the selling before the reader ever hits a product page. And the key to making search prospecting work across both levels is matching the right keywords to the right landing pages. Each ad group should be built around one strong landing page, which makes your Google Ads quality score as high as it can fucking go, because that whole customer journey is relevant, and also the customer journey from ad to purchase is seamless. Each ad group should be built around one strong landing page with keywords that match the intent of that page. A solution aware page like best protein powder for weight loss gets one ad group. An informational page like benefits of creatine gets another. A competitor comparison advertorial gets its own one as well. One page per ad group, keywords matched to intent. Brand terms must, and I'm saying must, be excluded here as well. So use a negative keyword list that fucking blocks your brand name and its variations across all prospecting campaigns. We'll go deeper into this keyword strategy in the next section. For now, just know that search prospecting gives you 2 ways to find new customers. Capturing people who are actively comparing products and reaching people even earlier while they're still researching at a fraction of the cost. Now, shopping and search both rely on one thing, and that's someone actively going to Google and typing in a query. But what about the people who haven't even started searching yet? The ones doom scrolling on YouTube, or they're scrolling on one of Google's apps, and that's demand generation campaigns. This is the most underused prospecting channel in Google Ads right now, and it's one of the highest ROI opportunities that we see across our clients. Demand gen is Google's answer to meta advertising. It's a single campaign type that serves your ads across YouTube, Google Discover, and Gmail, all the places where people are browsing and consuming content rather than just actively searching for something. So if you're running meta ads right now and they're working, demand gen should be your next move on Google, because the psychology is almost identical. People aren't typing in a search query, they're scrolling through content. Your ad shows up naturally in their feed, and if it's done right, it catches their attention the same way a great Instagram or Facebook ad would. The crucial thing here though, guys, is your ad should not look like a traditional inspirational product ad. They need to feel like content. Think 10 dermatologists recommended this collagen, or the kitchen pan that fucking 10 Michelin star chefs actually use. Something informative and curiosity driven rather than buy our product now, 20% off. This is key. Sending cold demand gen traffic to a standard product page is essentially burning money. It's why our internal landing page team and Google Ads team uses an advertorial style funnel. We've seen this placement scale fast when it's done right. One example went from 0 to 500 euros per day in spend within 30 days and becoming the second best prospecting campaign by ROAS in an account running 22 campaigns. Now, demand gen also gives you access to YouTube placements, including in-stream shorts and in-feed. Each one reaches people in a completely different mindset, which you need to know, and it needs its own creative approach. That's a deep topic, so I'm going to do a full breakdown of the YouTube prospecting in a dedicated video. For now, just know that you want to keep each ad group to 1 or 2 formats maximum so you can see which formats actually drive results. A few key setup points: just run separate demand gen campaigns for prospecting and retargeting. On the prospecting side, keep optimized targeting turned on so Google can expand to find new audiences. On the retargeting side, turn it off. This is critical, and it's a mistake we see in nearly every audit. If you leave optimized targeting on for retargeting, the campaign starts targeting people beyond your website visitors, which just fucking defeats the entire purpose. Budget should be at least twice your expected cost per acquisition. Start with maximized conversions bidding. Once you're getting around 30 conversions per month, you can transition to target CPA. Always test both image and video assets. We've had accounts where image ads achieve the higher ROAS of any sort of creative in the campaign. So don't assume video will always outperform. So yeah, that's the full stack, guys. Shopping for product visibility, search for active intent and research, demand gen for passive discovery across YouTube and Discover. 3 campaign types, each reaching people in a completely different way. Here's the order we'd launch these. So start with shopping and PMAX prospecting using proper brand exclusions. That's our foundation and where the majority of revenue will come for most e-commerce brands. Once you have conversion data and can identify winning landing pages, go ahead, add search prospecting. Begin with the solution aware keywords, then expand into that informational and advertorial angles as you build the supporting landing pages. From there, layer in demand gen. Now, before we go further, I want you to understand there is no one size fits all starting point. 20% here, 30% there, that's the same. It's very bespoke. Some brands lead with YouTube placements inside demand gen because they already have strong video content from socials. Others start with Discover if they have great static images and can quickly build advertorial landing pages. It completely depends on your existing creative assets, production capacity, and obviously current funnel. This is why we built our internal creative and landing page team at Echelonn. When we audit a new account, we look at your entire business, not just the fucking Google ads. We do this to map what content you already have, what your team can produce, and where the sort of biggest prospecting opportunities exist. Then we build the exact landing pages, advertorials, and creative assets needed. So you don't need everything on day one. Build that fucking foundation first, then expand channels as you have the budget and assets to support them. The key is just having a clear plan for how every piece connects. Now, I want to take a step back a bit. You know the general stack of what brings the best prospecting results on Google, but if you're targeting the wrong audience, your campaigns will go nowhere. Let's start breaking down how we do this targeting. We're starting with keywords. When most people think about keywords, they think about search campaigns, typing phrases into Google Keyword Planner, and adding them to ad group. But keywords, it powers your entire prospecting strategy, not just search. In shopping campaigns, you don't add keywords the way you do in search. Instead, your product titles and descriptions acts as your sort of keywords. Google reads your product feed within the GMC and then decides which searches to show your products for based on what's in those titles. If your title says cotton shirt, you're only going to show up for a narrow set of generic searches. But if your title on the shopping site says organic cotton shirt for men, sustainable and comfortable, you've just told Google to match you to a much wider range of relevant queries. This means keyword research isn't just as the search campaigns. It should directly inform you how to write your product titles in Google Merchant Center. Pull your search terms data from your existing shopping and search campaigns. Look at what's actually converting and then build those high performing terms into your feed. Advice is you need to put the most important keywords at the front of your title. Google cuts titles after like 70 characters. So whatever the fuck comes first is what matters most. And if you're running prospecting campaigns, you need to avoid leading with fucking your brand name and mentioning that. No one gives a fuck. It already appears elsewhere on the ad anyways. You want to lead with the terms your new customers are actually searching for. I'm going to show you what an optimized title looks like. Let's click into here. As you can see, when we click in, we start with the primary keywords first, which is couch cover for dogs. And then all the other factors that customers would be interested in, such as waterproof, size, color, heavy duty, dog friendly. And this is also where product duplication becomes incredibly powerful. One product in your store can become 5 to 10 shopping listings in your feed. Each match with a different title angle targeting a different keyword theme. Say you sell a creatine supplement, your original listing targets creatine monohydrate. That can be the primary part of your title, but you can duplicate that product and create separate listings for creatine for muscle growth, creatine for brain health, creatine for women, creatine for weight loss. Each duplicate shows up in different searches, occupying more space in the shopping carousel and capturing keyword themes your single original listing would have never matched. This isn't you creating new products, by the way. You're creating new entry points for the same product, each one tailored to a different way your customers search. When you pair a keyword specific title with a matching image and a landing page built around that angle, guys, I'm telling you, you get dramatically better relevance and conversion rates. We did this with a supplement brand across one of their hero products. That product duplication strategy combined with informational keyword targeting and branded campaign optimization, this contributed to 12.2 million in additional revenue and a 151% increase in new customer acquisition over 12 months. I'll do a full walkthrough on how to basically set up product duplication in the Google Merchant Center in another video. For now, just know this is one of the highest leveraging things you can do with your shopping feed. So how do you actually do keyword research for new customers from Google? Start by auditing what you're currently targeting and figuring out which tier each keyword falls into. Then build your solution aware keyword list, phrases like best, followed by your product category, your product for a specific use case, top rated, your product type, and your product category plus reviews. I would also add negatives for your brand and also competitor brands. In search campaigns, they become your ad group targeting. In shopping campaigns, they become the language you build your product titles around. So pull your search terms report from both campaign types and look at what's actually driving clicks and conversions. Those terms should be baked into your feed titles, not just your search ad groups. Another thing is to structure search ad groups around your best landing pages. Each ad group should correspond to one landing page and one keyword theme. If you have a landing page for best protein powder for weight loss, that gets its own ad group with keyword variations matching the intent. For the informational keyword layer, identify the questions your target customers ask before they're ready to buy. Google's keyword planner, check Amazon search suggestions, and then look at the people also ask section in Google results and create dedicated blog articles or advertorial style landing pages that answer these questions genuinely and then introduce your product naturally. Next is check your search terms report every week, both search and shopping campaigns. And I would say add converting terms as keywords in search and as title angles in your feed. Negative out anything irrelevant, guys. This is where you find the hidden gems, queries that you would have never thought about to target that are quietly driving revenue. But keywords tell Google what to match you to. Audiences tell Google who to find. And most brands and advertisers do not really understand how the fuck these work. They either don't use audiences at all, or they use them so broadly that the targeting becomes fucking meaningless. The way audiences works just really depends on the campaigns. And this is an important distinction. So in PMAX, Performance Max, audiences are signals that help sort of guide the algorithm. Google takes your audience inputs, uses them to understand who your ideal customer looks like, and then goes out and finds people it thinks will convert. It can and will go beyond the audiences you provide. So think of it as giving Google sort of a starting direction. In demand gen, audiences function more like actual targeting. When optimized targeting is off, your audience selections determine who sort of sees your ads. When it's on, Google can expand beyond your selections to find additional users it thinks will obviously convert. So the audiences you choose in demand gen matter more directly than in PMAX. Here's how we layer audiences for prospecting campaigns, and each layer serves a different purpose. As you can see for this client, we've set up a bunch of audiences. Let me just go into what makes each of these up. So we have custom segments. Google used to call these custom intent audiences, and you'll still hear that term a lot. And you build these yourself based on two inputs: your URLs that your ideal customers visit, like competitor sites, category review sites, relevant publications, and search terms that your audiences uses. This lets you tell Google, find me more who are actively researching this category. We use this heavily in both PMAX and demand gen campaigns. Next, we have in-market segments, and these are basically people Google has identified as actively researching and comparing products in your category. For fitness supplements, that might be sports nutrition, protein weight management. For apparel brands, you might just have activewear or running and jogging. These high intent audiences. You want to layer them into your PMAX audience signals and your demand gen campaigns as well. Next, we have affinity segments. This helps you get reach for users that have broader lifestyle alignment with your product. These are wider people in the market, but very useful for top of funnel campaigns where you want reach with some sort of relevance. Lastly, customer match lists let you upload your existing customer database, emails, phone numbers, addresses, so Google can match them to real users. I highly recommend adding your emails and all this data of your customers to your Google Ad account, because in PMAX, this data helps the algorithm. It's a signal. It helps Google and the PMAX algorithm understand your customer profile and find similar people. And in demand gen, you can use these lists to either retarget existing customers or exclude them from prospecting campaigns. The more data points you guys include, the higher your match type at the end of the day. For PMAX specifically, don't overlook search themes. These are keyword like inputs you add, the asset group level that help guide which searches your ads appear for. Our SOPs treat search themes as equally important to audience signals. Better input means better output. We see accounts constantly where the top spending asset groups have sort of outdated customer lists and no search themes at all. That's leaving performance on the table. And just to remind you, you need to exclude your retargeting audiences and existing customers from prospecting campaigns. If you don't, your prospecting campaign becomes retargeting in disguise. For remarketing campaigns, always disable optimized targeting. We see that mistake so often, and we always constantly see it in audits. The retargeting campaign ends up targeting users beyond your website visitors. If you're thinking, I need help with this, or you want someone to audit your campaigns to show you exactly where to fix, that's what we do. More than happy to give you a free audit. I'll audit your ad account. We jump on a call, we go through it, because we offer free Google Ad audits where we'll walk through your ad account. We have a one-on-one call, find out where you're losing your customers, and show you the opportunities you're leaving on the table. The link to get an audit from myself and your ad account is in the description, so feel free to book a free audit call with me. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.